They can sense fear. They're out to kill everybody and they want to eat everything. People think that like you just can like huck anything into the cage, and because this thing's just like a killing machine, it's just gonna karate chop everything, and just like not the case.
There are certain animals that have negative associations attached to them. And what impact do these associations have when these animals need rescue or rehabilitation?
I always like to stick with the facts. I just like to teach people why reptiles are advantageous to the ecosystem and what the stereotypes are typically that I hear, and then through a hands-on experience show that a lot of that stuff isn't true. I have 30 plus snakes after all these years, done everything from breed them to bring them to places to educate. Never once have I had any of the stereotypes happen. I've never been attacked by a snake. I've never had one hunt me down personally like people think.
In Community Matters, we are back. We're making some new friends here. 802 Reptiles is in the house. So that's what you guys do with 802 Reptiles, right?
Yep.
You get these animals out in the community for people to meet, maybe overcome some of their fears. Talk about that.
Well, we just want to break some stereotypes. This is probably the most stereotyped animal in the world, a snake. And we just want to show that these aren't mean, aggressive animals. These are friendly, shy, characteristics that you wouldn't often give to snakes and other reptiles.
And this topic is actually one of my favorite reasons for working with reptiles. I've always had a competitive bone in my body, and I love getting people out of their comfort zone and questioning why they feel a certain way. So reptiles are one of the animals that I can do that with, along with our invertebrates. But dogs and cats, you know, people tend to gravitate towards them, even though they could do a lot more damage than a tiny corn snake that I'm holding.
There's a big snake in the plane, Jacques! Oh, that's just my pet snake, Reggie! I hate snakes, Jacques! I hate them!
You know, they're always the bad guy in media.
Hold it, car!
Oh, my sinus. You have just made a serious mistake, my friend.
It's always they get the short end of the stick and people don't see them as animals. It's just kind of getting them to respect them as beings as well.
The real spin that I like to put on it is that really the animal's more afraid of you than you are of it.
Creepy, deadly, burn a house down. A lot of people, their first reaction is just to kill it. But I think most of the biggest thing is like they're harmless and they're not chasing you. I'm laughing because people get really freaked out about spiders.
Well, there's nothing worse than ending the animal's life, which is what most people do with things they don't like and don't understand. That's a big part of it as well. So teaching people to understand how important they are.
I think it's just like live and let live.
Your common household pets are more likely to give you rabies than bats. You know, the worst case scenario is they get killed. That's going to affect them big time.
So it's all just that like knowledge of how to coexist with the animals that live around you, no matter where you are.
But a lot of things that I teach people is just leave wildlife alone.
Up next.
So what do you think is the biggest threat to wildlife?
Humans, unfortunately. Deforestation, just taking away all of their natural resources that they need in order to survive, and then, imposing ourselves on them.